Hi everyone, this is Alp Actinis here with the FP and Automation team. Today we have another exciting Power Automate video for you where we will be showcasing how you can use Power Automate's flow to create recurring email campaigns for your existing customers to make them aware of new products and services that you are looking to offer to them that they could be potentially interested in purchasing. Within this video, we will be connecting Power Automate to an Excel file located on a SharePoint site containing our existing customers and going record by record and determining with a conditional statement whether or not we will be sending that customer a recurring email. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. And before getting into the build out of the Power Automate flow, I want to go ahead and showcase for you the Excel file that is located on our SharePoint site and what we have created. Now, in this scenario, we are assuming that an Excel file is continually being updated with all the various different customers that we are currently doing business with. So in here, you can see that we have a couple different columns. Column A represents the company name. Column B represents the customer that we are currently doing business with. Column C represents the email of that customer. And then column D through column F represent current products or services that our customers are currently purchasing, indicated by a Y. And then off to the right here, we have two additional columns. And these ones are going to come in handy, especially down the line if you're going to implement this process to ensure that you know if a customer has went ahead and purchased that particular product or service that you had made them aware of in your email campaign. And if they did, then you would want to indicate a Y here, and then we can put conditions in place within Power Automate to ensure that that customer does not get that email again. Because the idea here is to ensure that this is a great experience and there's not potentially any certain emails that a customer is getting for something that they may have already purchased from a previous email campaign that was run at a different time. So now that you have seen the file, let's go ahead and get into actually building out the flow itself. So I'm going to navigate back to Power Automate right here. And within Power Automate, I'm going to go to Create. And within the Create section, I'm going to go ahead and choose Schedule Cloudflow. Now, another option you have here is you could do an instant Cloudflow where you manually trigger this if you want to control when you send a specific email campaign. We're not going to cover this in this example right here, but Schedule Cloudflow will allow you to set up a particular recurring time to continually record this particular email campaign to go to your existing customers. So I'm going to go ahead and give this flow a name. I'm going to call this Schedule Email Campaigns for New Power Automate Advanced Course. In our case right here, what we're assuming is that we have a Power Automate beginner course that we have offered to our existing customers. We are working on an advanced course. We've just come out with it, and we want to make our existing customers aware of that new Power Automate course in case they are interested in further exploring additional learnings on the course itself. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the date as well as the time as 10 a.m. on 7/8. And then for the recurrence, what I'm going to go ahead is set this to a monthly recurrence. Now you have the option to choose month, week, day, hour, minute, or second. In our case, we're going to go ahead and choose month right here. So every month, this particular flow is going to run. So I'm going to go ahead and hit create right here. And now we're going to go ahead and be brought into the actual window where we will be developing the flow itself. Now, you have the option to be able to change the designer layout of the flow. I like to work in the old designer layout. This is the new one with the Copilot features now in place. So it's up to you in terms of how you want to set this up. In my case, I'm going to go ahead and choose the old designer. I prefer to work in the old designer view right here, but you have either option. Now, what you'll see right here is that we can see the interval and then the frequency, and then we have the option, of course, to be able to change the start time and then the time zone when this runs right here. I always like to rename my flow so I know exactly what these are doing. So I'm going to call this Schedule Monthly Recurrence for Email Campaign. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is add a new step. So once I have set up my recurrence, I'm going to go ahead and add this new step right here. And the step that I'm going to be looking for, the operation that I'm going to be looking to run right here is going to be from our Excel Online Business set of actions. Now, if I click on here, there's going to be a couple different actions available to me. And the one that I'm interested in is the list rows present in a table. The reason why we want this is going to allow us to be able to get a particular table from a particular file within our SharePoint site so that we can actually read that data and go row by row to determine whether or not a particular customer is going to get an email campaign sent to them. Now, one thing to keep in mind here for your sheet, I'm just going to quickly flash back to the sheet right here. Make sure you don't have any additional calculations or values on here. For whatever reason, Power Automate does not recognize the table when you do have those values. I just tested that out, and that was actually when I put the values above the row. So just make sure that you only have the table in here if you are going to be using a particular Excel file for this process. So keep that in mind when you are setting this up. So I'm going to flash back now to the Power Automate flow, and let's go ahead and build this out right here. So I'm going to go to the location, and the location is going to be the SharePoint site where I'm actually pulling this data. So in my case right here, I'm looking for Power Automate content. That is where the actual, and I'm going to go ahead and choose documents right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and choose the file that I need to look for. And what this allows you to do is it allows you to go into the subfolders of that particular SharePoint site. So in my case right here, I'm going to be looking for my particular file, which happens to be located in this products purchased by customer folder right here. I'm going to click on that. And then what's going to happen here is I'm going to be allowed to access the table, which is going to be called products purchased by customers. That's the name of the actual table that is in that file. Now, once I have that in place right here, I do have the option to add additional parameters. We don't need that in this case, but in case you want to skip certain rows, or maybe you want to pull in only the top certain rows, or you want to add some sort of queries, you do have the option to do that. In my case, I don't need to do any of that. And what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to go ahead and give this a new step. And now we're going to be moving on to actually going through each one of those rows on that table and setting up our email campaign. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look for the control action setup. I can also type that in, and I can also type in the one that I'm specifically looking for called apply to each. And what this is going to allow us to do is it's going to allow us to loop row by row in order to be able to check whether or not we need to actually use that particular customer for our email campaign. So I'm going to click on apply to each. And then from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click within the white text box right here, and I'm going to want to add dynamic content. And what I'm going to be looking for here is I'm going to be looking for the values. And when I click on value right here, what this is going to do is this is going to go row by row and perform some sort of action. And the action right here that we want to perform is a conditional statement first. We want to first check, is this a customer that we actually want to run an email campaign for? And the check that we're going to do right here for this condition is we're going to check if they are a customer that has purchased our Power Automate beginner course. If they are, then we're going to go ahead and send them an email campaign. If they're not, we're not going to do anything. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the choose a value section right here, and I'm going to go down here and I'm going to look for my Power Automate training column. That is a column that's on there for a particular product or service that we have, and I'm going to go ahead and click on that one, and I'm going to set it equal to Y. That way, we are looking for customers that have this particular product, because more than likely, if they took our beginner course, maybe they're going to want to take our advanced course. So we want to make them aware of it. If they had a great experience with the beginner course and they're still a customer with us, saying to us that they really like the course and they're continuing to stay with us. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add another condition. So you can add multiple conditions right here. So I'm going to add a row. And the other condition I'm going to have right here is, did they actually purchase the advanced course? Now, the reason why I want this is for future campaigns that we're going to run on a monthly basis. If for whatever reason we did have a customer that purchased our advanced course and it was set to Y, we want to make sure that that customer does not get that email campaign anymore because they already purchased it. There's no point in them receiving it if they already have it. So it's a good best practice right here to ensure that you have a standard operating procedure in place where when a customer does purchase that advanced course, you have some sort of indicator here so that we know that they did and therefore they shouldn't be receiving that future email. So I'm going to go ahead and set this not equal to Y because we want to look for customers that do not have a purchase of our advanced course. Now, once this is set up right here, this condition, I can go ahead and move down now to my yes section. For no, we can leave this as blank. Basically, when this is false, then we can go ahead and not do anything. So therefore, we can leave this blank. So on the yes section right here, I'm going to go ahead and add an action. And the action that I'm going to add here is I'm going to send an email. And what's great about this is we can actually customize the email to the particular campaign that we're looking to run. So the first thing that I can do is I can add dynamic content in the to section. So who am I actually going to send this email to? Well, if we have a column on our existing customer table that we have for a list of our customers that have purchased certain products, we can go ahead and get the email of that particular column so that when we have a condition that's true, we email that particular customer on that particular row, and then we can indicate a subject line here. Now, the subject line that I'm going to indicate right here, and again, this can be set up to whatever you wish, so it could be anything sort of catchy that will immediately catch the customer's eye, or it can be something more specific. It's up to you. But in this case right here, I'm going to go ahead and write down that this is a new Power Automate Advanced course that's now available. So this is our email campaign for this. And what I can go ahead and do is I can go ahead and add in a body that I would like to populate here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy over a body message that I have in place right here. And I'm going to paste this in here. So this is actually a body that I've set up. And what this is essentially talking about is, what the customer is going to learn in this course. What are some of the additional features they get access to? So they get access to a bunch of different Power Automate packages, access to a quarterly webinar, access to 30 hours of training videos and material. You can really customize this to however you want and this particular email to stand out. And what's great about this is you can bold certain things. So if you want certain particular messages within the email itself to really stand out. And then a really, really great thing about this is you can actually include links within here. So you already see that I'm specifying the customer's name. This is making it relevant to the customer. This is great because now the actual customer is going to see that we're addressing it to them. It's not just a generic email. And in addition to this, if I look below right here, I can go ahead now and I can go into the section right here, the body section. And you'll notice there's something, there's a little link right here. And what's great about this is we can actually add a hyperlink to an external website. So whether we want to put a hyperlink to our web page or to the particular product page so the customer can go and take a look at it, they can go ahead and have a link in here that allows them to navigate to that particular page so that they can go and check out the course in more detail or whatever it is that you're doing an email campaign on. Now, if I go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and use our website right here. So I'm going to add a new tab. I'm going to type in FT automation and I'm going to go ahead and copy in this particular website and I'm going to head back to my flow. Now within here, if I click on this link right here, I can go ahead and add the link target. So I'm going to paste in my actual website right here. I'm going to add in click here for more information on the course. That way it's very obvious that the user should be clicking here to learn more information about the course. And I'm going to add a link to a new window. So when they click on this link, it's going to add a link to that new window and then I'm going to hit add. By doing this, this now provides a hyperlink within our email for that user to be able to click on after they have read this message. In addition here, I can go ahead and indicate some other information such as maybe an email, a continued thank you for them doing business with us, and of course a number for them to call in case they're maybe interested in calling us about this. Now, once I have this set up right here, I have my customized email set up, I can go ahead and test this out. And the great part about this, guys, is you can set up as many email campaigns as you want. Again, it's contingent, of course, on your Power Automate licensing, but you can set up as many email campaigns as you want. You can add additional conditions on there in terms of who gets this email, and you can really create your own sort of process that works for your specific company that is going to allow you to send out the appropriate new product and service awareness, maybe, or maybe some other sort of email campaign that you're looking to run with your existing customer base, or maybe a new customer base email list that you have within your organization. So as always, it's appropriate to save, so make sure to save this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and save this right here. And now let's go ahead and test this. So again, we are checking for anybody that has a Power Automate course and does not have a purchase of our advanced course, and we're going to send them this email. So now if I go ahead and test this out by hitting the test button and test manually, when I go ahead and hit the test button right here, this is going to go ahead and run this flow. And then I can go ahead and hit done right here. This is going to go ahead and kick off this flow right here. And now we're going to see that the flow is going to run. And you can hear that I just got an email notification that the flow has ran. So if we take a look at our flow, there is our email notification. So we can see who the flow went to. So again, it went to Joshua, who was one of the customers that had purchased our Power Automate beginner course. And what they can go ahead and do is they can click on that link for more information, where they get brought to that particular page that you are interested in them clicking on to learn more information about the course. So I hope video, again, we covered how to create an email campaign using a scheduled task flow within Power Automate. If you liked this video, please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel to get more information and more notifications around new videos that we're creating around Power Automate and Power Platform. Please be sure to check out our links below in our description of the video for more information about us, as well as other various things that we have. And this is Al signing out.